Hello, everybody. This is DJ Sbu straight out of Cape Town in South Africa, and welcome to the Money.Finance. This is a podcast where we get to discuss everything money.
Absolutely. And today we have a different episode for you guys. So our model is to create these bite-sized, straight to the point episodes where we really just get straight to the money talk. And we hope that within that format, you can get a lot in a very short period of time. But every now and then, I think we're going to be doing these long episodes that we can now get a lot more conversational so that you can get to know us a little bit more. So on this episode, I'll be asking Sbu a lot of questions that I personally have for him. In that conversation, I'm sure you're also going to learn something. And because he is someone who is in the money game trying to make money, he has been making money, I think you cannot separate the money and the person who makes it. So totally there's something that we can learn from his life and his story. So today I'm going to be asking questions related to his life entirely. Are you ready for that one?
I'm very ready, my brother. And just a quick one, and throw in a quick disclaimer over there, guys. We are not financial experts.
Yes.
So we are not trained to give advice about money. We're not telling you what to do with your money. You make your own decisions. You go do your own research. You go get professional people that can advise you accordingly. But here, this is just mainly a platform to create conversations about money, because I kind of feel a lot of people need to, we should be normalizing speaking about money.
Absolutely, yeah.
We should be normalizing speaking about big figures, speaking about the economy, speaking about businesses, speaking about the digital currencies, speaking about money, how to double up our money, how to make our money grow, how to invest, etc. And on the other episodes as well, we will have some financial experts, some entrepreneurs, and other people who are in the money game to come here and teach us more about money. So I'm ready, bro.
Actually, that might be my first question to you. So when you think of a financial expert, who do you think of?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Right.
That's a very good question. I think of a guy in a suit.
Okay.
I think of somebody who works at a bank.
Mm-hmm.
I think of somebody who speaks very good, clean, polished, intimidating English.
Right.
I speak of somebody whom I wouldn't easily open up to about my money situations, although I know that they're telling me that this person wants to help me.
Okay.
But I'm seeing a picture of somebody whom I know they're saying this person can help me, but somebody who does not feel that easily approachable, or somebody that does not easily give me an environment where I can open up about my money problems and try and get help from him. And I'm not saying that happens to everybody. I'm just talking about an ordinary South African when they will probably think of a financial advisor. This is me.
Yes.
Being an ordinary South African growing up in South Africa. I think that answers your question. I don't know.
Yeah. In a way, it does. Because, everybody talks about we have to protect ourselves by saying, oh, we're not financial advisors. But of course, we're not giving financial advice. We're just discussing money. But at the same time, it's a weird thing, the concept of financial advisor. To me, I think it's very outdated today, because who is really a financial advisor? It's like, have you ever gone to a financial advisor before?
I think I have over the years, but not earlier on when I was young. I didn't think that I needed somebody to come and tell me about my finances. Little did I know that I could have, and I should have. And I advise you to, guys, go get financial advisors. Go have a chat. It doesn't hurt to go have a chat and learn and ask questions and all the money questions that you might have. So I would encourage people to have, but I also do know that financial advisors are people that know about money. They've been trained, they've been working with money, they understand money and economics, etc., and the economics of the country.
Yes.
But with that being said, they still work for the bank.
Absolutely. I think that what I can pick up from what you just said, I think it's about stages. There's a certain stage that you might really need a financial advisor, right? If you're getting started at the beginning, you feel like you don't really need to. And mostly it's because you actually don't, So yeah, as far as the concept of a financial advisor is there and people have to utilize it, I think that, people should be doing their own research. A lot of these things aren't really that hard to figure out, Like we said on the previous episode, that your financial situation is personal. You're actually the one who knows everything, because as far as you can go to a financial advisor, even they open up, even if they do, that you can now tell them your money situation, I don't think you'll be able to tell anybody everything. You know, stories that we tell to each other are always capped to a certain level, you know. So yeah, that is a point I was just trying to make. But of course, we're not financial advisors.
You always have to throw it in there. And it's important.
It's important,
we
yes.
actually are not.
We're not, yes. So getting to my question now, the first thing that I have observed after spending a couple of days with you is that you are known out there as a very energetic person. From what I've observed, you know, seeing you on TV, on social media, you would go on the streets and sell these more fire cans on your own by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Not something that people would expect of someone at your stance. But at the same time, in your personal time, you're very calm. You're in control, very chilled, you know, making sure everything is working. Have you always been like this, or this is something that you have worked towards to be, you know, in a mode where, in a Zen mode, so to speak?
Geez, that's a very good question, eh?
Yeah.
Because I remember when we started this podcast on our first episode, when we were talking about money, one of the first topics we touched on was the money mindset.
Mindset, yes.
Because you need to be in a certain mindset or in a certain frame of mind to be able to be a money person. But what I can say to answer your question is, I have always been a vocal person.
Right.
I'm outspoken. I come from the entertainment business, and I grew up in the hood. You know, I grew up in the township. We used to always make fun of each other, make jokes about each other. We're in the streets playing soccer. We're screaming around. It's noisy. It's in the hood, you know.
Yes.
And I mean, I was a DJ. I grew up being a DJ as a kid, playing at different parties. So I've always just been this person who's social, who is loud, who's outspoken, who can speak for himself, and who's energetic as well. I'm a very driven person. But at the same time, I think the being reserved and just understanding yourself comes with age.
Okay.
And comes with understanding yourself and learning about yourself and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And developing confidence and just starting to have that good chip above your shoulders where you're sure of yourself, you're comfortable, you don't need anyone's validation.
Right.
You understand that you have to be calm to be in control behind the scenes. But that had to take time for me to become like this.
Yeah.
I think it's also part of maturity.
Right. So, I mean, based on what you say, do you think being overly outrageous or overly unnecessarily, say, energetic in some instance, do you think it can be a sign of or a signal of insecurity, that you're trying to cover up something?
That's a very good question. I think it depends.
Yes.
It definitely depends. I mean, there's a lot of people who are loud, who are even arrogant, who are rich, who are wealthy, who are irritating, but they still have money.
Yes.
And then you ask yourself sometimes, like, how do these people continuously become rich?
Like that.
They've got such a stinking attitude, you know?
Yes.
But then with that being said, I believe that we all have got different journeys.
Yes.
And as we walk, this life thing humbles us when we get to do things that are either out of order, or we make mistakes and we learn along the ways and we get humbled, and then we become better people. Mm-hmm. As time goes, you definitely do become better. Slow. With time, it takes years. I guess that's why they always say, indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. That's an isiZulu proverb that says wisdom comes from the elders.
Elders, yes.
Basically, yes.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of elderly people have got the wisdom. So, but it takes time. I've had to go through a lot for me to become the person that I am. Remember, I'm an entertainer.
Yes.
I'm used to standing in front of crowds, thousands of people, TV cameras, on radio. I'm used to greeting people, taking pictures. And over the years, slowly that sort of grooms you into giving you a certain attitude in how to treat people, and how to smile with people, and how to also learn people.
Yes.
Because we call it a university of the streets, right? For
Right.
lack of a better word. But that's basically just normal life skills.
Right.
I think, or I believe, anybody who needs to develop a money mindset needs to understand how ordinary people are. Because people are different. And as you live life, there's a lot of things you're going to learn along the way. And those things grow you and they make you a better person, right?
Yes.
But you have to be aware of the lessons. You have to be aware of the mistakes. You have to be aware of each and everything that you go through. What is it teaching you?
Yes.
So it takes time, and for me, it's come with maturity over the years.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've personally identified. Like, you're really good at people, your people skills, how you treat people, waiters, waitresses at the restaurants. You're like 100 times better than I am.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you're like, you take your time, everything is okay. Sometimes I'm more like, chop, I just want to do things and go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But am I wrong, though, that when you're a person who's got a money mindset, you need to be able to learn and understand the psyche of other human beings?
No, that's the truth, because any sort of money that you can ever make, it comes from other people. So I think the best thing to learn, to understand better, actually is people. I learned this lesson. I'm still in the process of learning this lesson, because on my side, for most part of my life, I'm sort of one of the digital generation. We spent most of our time alone in front of computers, and I don't think that most of us in my generation have the same understanding of people the same way like you guys do. Yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect, because everything is in front of the screens. We're much more like, I'm introverted too, so that also another layer of the challenge. But yeah, and that's a very good question. It's very admirable for me. I'm always trying to aim for calm. I always say that in my life, I optimize for peace, not happiness, because I think peace is very rare to find.
Yes.
So the next question that I have is that, understanding you're coming from a music background, entertainment background, and from the society, or the way we expect people in that stance to present themselves, it's very different from how you present yourself, especially someone who is at your stature. You're among the wealthiest South African musicians right now, right? And you're really just like a normal, simple guy. Has it always been the case, or back in the day it used to be different? How did you come to this mindset where, like, I'm just chilled? At least the signals that you have that you're a wealthy person is that you're just free. The way you carry your hair, it's just, you can just tell by the aura that, okay, this person is confident, is calm, they're not really under pressure, they're not trying to prove anything to anyone. How did you come to that?
Geez, that's a very, very interesting question. And I'll tell you, Gray, the reason why I say it's interesting, because of how the society has been designed.
Yes.
And the rules and regulations that have been put in each place and each industry. And as we grow, you have to dress in a certain uniform when you work for a certain company.
Yes.
You have to carry yourself this way if you're in the boardroom. You have to do this when you are. You have to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's all these different rules that we've gotten to learn as we've grown older.
Yes.
And they always say as well things like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Yes.
And when you are talking money, over the years, the past has always taught us that we need to be in suits and ties. We need to be speaking the money jargon, the right language. And that's how it's always been in the business world all the way until today. But when you look at life where it is today, some of the most successful people lately that the world is producing are very young.
Yes.
I mean, there's like teen millionaires. There's millionaires in their 20s.
Yeah.
There's others who might not necessarily be monetary millionaires,
yes,
but they're great in coming up with awesome things and running dope ideas and in creating amazing startup businesses in the African continent. But if you start looking at most of those, even if you go to, I travel quite a lot, so I speak all over the world. You go to San Fran, you go to New York, you go to LA. The whole world is moving towards people being themselves and being free, not being in a suit and a tie and being forced to be a certain image of a caliber of type of people.
Right.
I think the world has sort of flexibly relaxed itself to allow people to become whoever they want to become. So with me, I've always been suit and a tie type of guy.
Yes.
Clean metrosexual, clean shaven at all times, and it's been great. And I mean, I love that. I love dressing up. I love being that person. I love walking into a meeting in my suit. I'm prepared for my meetings. I've got all my ducks in a row. Because as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you always have to have your ducks in a row. You always have to read. You always have to understand the meetings, who you're going to speak to. You always have to consult, etc. And your mind always has to be working. But you always also have to look the part. The image is a big part of business.
Yes.
Right? But then when you look at Nigerians or other African brothers and sisters, they conduct business in their own African regalia.
Yes, absolutely.
You go to the sheikhs in the Middle East.
Yes.
They conduct business in their own traditional or religious regalia.
Yes.
You go to China. They conduct business in their own religious, you know what I mean?
They don't have to conform to anything.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you've got us, on the other hand, who always feel we always have to wear a suit and a tie.
Yes.
So for me, I've been that person for the longest of time because I've also been in front of cameras.
Right.
And in the entertainment business, I'm shooting music videos and I'm hosting TV shows and I'm doing interviews, and I always have to look the part. And I've even won awards, GQ, Best Dressman, etc. Just to give an idea of the type of a dresser that I've always been.
Yeah.
But as time goes and as we all grow, things like COVID happens.
Yes.
You're stuck in the house. There's no need to shave. You get more and more comfortable. You can wear your sneakers. I mean, I started out wearing sneakers in a suit many years ago when people are like, what is he doing? And I started breaking rules and just doing things on my own way because I've always been a person who refuses to conform.
Yeah.
Right? And I kind of believe that right now, I'm my own man. I'm comfortable in whichever way I want to be. Right now, I feel like growing my hair and not shaving. I don't feel like wearing suits every day. I don't feel like working from any of my offices as often as I would like to. I don't feel like being in Joburg every day. I'm in Cape Town now. I do whatever I like at any time. I dress whichever way I like, but I know that what is in here is what matters. And me running my businesses correctly and me being the best business partner I can be to my business partners and me delivering a good product as far as what our business has to deliver to the public or to the consumers. I think that's what matters the most, as opposed to my image, how I look like, or what are people going to say about me. I think that matters less. Not unless I'm going to a black tie event, I'm going to a funeral, a wedding, or I'm going to a very serious meeting, I'm going to sign a big deal, I'll put on my suit.
Right. So, I mean, you mentioned one thing is that, okay, I think maybe your confidence comes from the point that you know what's up there, right? So you can walk into anywhere, that's your tool, that's your major tool, how you maneuver in business. Well, when you're in the streets, sometimes maybe your immediate tool that you need to have is you need to be a great fighter to protect yourself in the streets, right? So there's always a tool for each domain or every level of life that you're at. And it seems like at this level where you're at, your mental state and what you have in your brain is the most important part. But do you think that society, especially in the areas in the places that we come from, right, the townships and all those places, do you think that our communities don't encourage us to prepare enough, or at least to remind us how important our mental state is, to the point that we grow up thinking that how we present ourselves and how we look when we enter a room or we enter a certain space is the most important thing, and then we get disappointed later that, well, I went to get an opportunity over there, I looked everything right, and you realize that you didn't get picked, simply maybe because your mental state wasn't right. Is that something that you ever identified before?
Yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot. I think a lot of us have gone through interviews. You've prepared for those interviews, you've read up about that company, you've asked for some advices from elder people or from your classmates or friends. We've all been through that, and we've hustled through or maneuvered through this thing called life. Nobody is an expert on this thing called life.
Absolutely.
We all make mistakes, we fall and we get up and we learn. And the other day, we're talking about how we're brought up, especially us as black people, and how that affects us as we grow and become teenagers. From teenagers, start becoming a fully grown woman or a man.
Yes.
Somehow you are influenced by your upbringing. Right. So it's the same thing, even if you have to focus on having a money mindset or on becoming an entrepreneur, focusing on business. You're bringing that baggage, or you're bringing that upbringing that you've had with you. That sort of impacts the type of person that you become, even in business, even in interacting in the business world.
Absolutely.
In the money world. So with myself, I kind of feel I've never been Mr. Know-it-all. I've never been an incredible person in this or in that or in carrying myself. I've made the biggest mistakes you can ever think of. I've disappointed people. I've not been perfect, you know, and that's why I say it comes with living this thing called life.
Life, okay.
So it wasn't anything that I've been conscious at and saying, no, me now. Yes, we all do. We always try and become the best
version
people, yeah, of ourselves,
yes.
or who we can be. But it's something that just happened over time, and I kind of feel I refuse to make the same mistakes that I've done in the past. Every time when I encounter a situation, I always refer to history or some of the things that have happened in the past.
Yes.
And then I will compare. And on how I make decisions, I'm very strict to not repeat similar mistakes like in the past. They've always said that the most successful people in the world make decisions quicker.
Quicker, yes.
Yeah, they take decisions quicker, they keep it moving.
Yes.
And then they take time to alter them.
Right.
And then the rest of us are the other way around. Okay, I take that back. I don't want to say the rest of us. I want to be a part of the 1% as well.
Okay. So my next question here is, what is your life optimized for right now? By that I mean, for someone who don't understand this question, is the way you live your life or everything is really optimized for something, right? If you're a football player in the pitch, you're playing for Bafana, everything you do is really optimized for scoring a goal. Whether you're passing the ball back to the goalkeeper, still the goal is to make sure that it gets to the other side of the net, right? On the other side. So for you right now, what is your life optimized for? What is the center of where everything is rotating around?
Yeah, for me it's purpose.
Purpose.
It's God, right? Because I understand that I'm a godly being.
Yes.
I understand that Jesus Christ, Yeshua, whatever name you want to use and refer to him as, was a physical embodiment of who God is, right? And God for me is just that spirit that is always guiding me and just encouraging me to be the best me I can be, to be love, to be calm, to be kind, to be positivity, to be the best version of me I can be, right? So I kind of would say to you, and I start getting passionate when I start speaking about this type of a conversation.
It's
my purpose.
Yeah.
It's what I'm here on earth to do. Each and every person is here on earth to make a difference. They always say, Bob Proctor, he actually says that there's 2 times, the day you were born and the day you discover why. The 2 times which are the most important times in any human being's life here on earth. It's your purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here on earth?
Right.
Why are you existing? Are you here to just be a 5W? I always call them 5Ws. Wazalwa, wapila, wavele, wadla, wafa. Meaning you just were born and you ate and you just existed and you never made any difference in society. I've always refused to be that type of person. I've always wanted to follow my name. My name is Sibusiso, which means a blessing. So I always say to people, I am blessed to become a blessing. So each and every move that I make, I've got my community in mind.
Okay.
Each and every decision that I make, I've got my great-grandchildren in mind. Each and every deal that I make, I always think, how is it going to benefit people who look like you and I?
Yes.
How am I shifting culture? How am I making a difference? So it's all purpose-driven. That's why I've got the Sibusiso Education Foundation that I've been running over the years and encouraging education and paying for kids' school fees and offering scholarships.
Right.
The passion from there comes from my purpose. Purpose is serving. Serving is doing the Lord's work. Doing the Lord's work is being as godly as you can be. We're all not perfect, but we are always striving to become the best version of ourselves we can become. So I kind of feel I'm here on earth to follow my name, my name being a Sibusiso, and I'm blessed to become a blessing.
Absolutely, man. That is a very good way to optimize one's life, you know, a very useful life of contributing to others.
Yeah,
and I think you're doing well. You're doing well at that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. For me, I appreciate when somebody says, dude, you inspire me.
Yeah.
Thank you, as opposed to saying, hey, you dress nice or you're good looking or your music is nice. I love being Will Smith puts it well. Will Smith says, if your life is not making, or if I'm trying to get the right wording. I'm gonna paraphrase here. Will Smith says, or let me paraphrase, he says, if your existence here on earth is not making anybody else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
Yeah, that is very true, right? I think we have to live purposefully. And the thing is that, I mean, since this podcast is all about money, living a life of purpose really pays. You know, people who are really purposeful, they want to. To me, I've always wondered that if you're, it's very difficult for someone to become super wealthy financially if their motivations are very cheap. When I say cheap motivations, it's just like, oh, buying the nicest shoe or whatever, materialistic thing that you can get. Usually people that are wealthy, they usually have bigger things that they want to achieve, right? That are beyond just simple consumption. It's like it's a big mission, an abundance mindset. You know, like you can think of any wealthy person. They're not really doing it just to be able to afford to buy something. They have a major purpose. They're usually saying, "Oh, I want to give the most money away," or something like that. I want to end hunger. I want to end poverty. If you're trying to serve others, you are more driven to actually be successful. Bill Gates' mission was to actually put a computer in every household. Imagine how that now has changed the world for the better.
Bill Gates. The new Bill Gates, I don't know.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, we're talking about the 1980s Bill Gates, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So this takes me to the next question. So you're 43 years old now, right?
Yeah, I'm turning 43. I'm 42 now.
Yeah, you're turning 43.
I've just turned 42 actually.
Okay, 42.
Yeah.
Okay, just turned 42. And by society standards, especially in Africa, your family would probably expect you to be married right now and all that stuff, and society is always expecting that of us, but you're not, which is another anomaly in society. Is that part of your optimization, or it's a random effect?
I think for me, by the way, I've got an amazing, beautiful 7-year-old baby daughter.
Yes.
She's one of the most smartest people I've ever met, and I'm blessed to have her in my life. And I can't wait to have more children.
Right.
You know, so I believe in family. I believe in marriage. I believe in God. I believe in having as many children as possible. I'm an African man. You know, I'm an African first before I'm anything. So for me, building a family structure matters a lot. And unfortunately, I've been one of those people who have not been lucky in being with the mother of my child. But I think we've got a great and awesome co-parenting relationship where we're both growing our daughter. But as my life keeps moving forward, my focus is on my purpose, and my focus is on building the businesses that I'm building no longer just my career. I'm building for these kids who are not yet here.
Yes.
I'm already building a generational legacy for them, and even my daughter who's currently here. But I'm also aware that I've got a lot of eyeballs on me because I've done TV, radio, and music for so many years. I'm popular in a lot of South Africans' eyes. I understand that everything that I do is looked at by a lot of people, so it has to have some sort of meaning to my community. So even the way I lead my life has to be as godly as possible. We are all not perfect, but I always want to be a married man. I can't wait. But I think I'm very open enough to say that I can't wait for the building of the family when it happens. Because for other people it happens at 50. Other people it happens at 30. Other people choose to do it at age 21. It happens differently for all of us.
Absolutely.
And I want to say to you all hustlers out there and investors and people that are making money, or people that are in the money mindset out there, that is also very important if you're going to become a very wealthy or successful person, or accumulate wealth or create legacies for generations to come. You have to be very strict in the type of person you choose to become your partner.
Absolutely.
The person you choose to become your boyfriend or to become your husband, that's the person you're going to spend the most of your time with. That's the person who's going to listen to your dreams, your vision. That's the person who's going to be your cheerleader. That's the person who's going to be next to you, who's going to be there on those days when things are bad. So you have to be very strict and take your time and be very sure, pray about it.
Yes.
And pray from time to time. I've been praying for many years. I mean, I'm 42 now. I've been praying for 42 years for that wife. I can't wait for that moment when it happens, but I'm looking forward to that marriage when it does happen, because I am a family man, and I cannot believe people who've been able to succeed in creating wealth in other cultures or in other races are family orientated.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
if I look at the Jewish community, if I look at the Muslim community, I look at our Indian brothers and sisters, I look at anyone or any other race all over the world, or the Italians, even from all the way back to the Italian movies,
yes,
the Godfather movies.
Yeah, it's all about family.
It's all about family.
Yes, yeah. Okay, that's a very good answer. So, what would you advise to someone like myself or another guy out there when you say that? Well, you have to be strict with who you pick. That is a very, very good, binary explanation of what maybe I should be looking out for. But it doesn't give me enough about some of the specifics. So in your experiences, what have been the bad traits that you have seen that, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that, based on the people that you have been with before?
I mean, you can be with a person of the street and you're not even aware of it, but it's going to show itself over time. If you've chosen the person of the streets, that's very sad and it's an unfortunate situation. For the lack of a better word, I'd say the person of the streets, meaning
promiscuous.
A person, who's either promiscuous or who's not there for you, or who's a person who's just only there based on either your success or your status in society,
yes,
or they're still seeking for still having fun with other people out there, or they're seeking
yes,
for other people whom they think they're probably better than you. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
That's a person of the streets. So that's why I say take your time in choosing that person to walk this journey with you, because you want to choose somebody who's going to encourage you, somebody who's going to be with you, somebody who's going to be your team, somebody who's going to be your partner in building this thing together with you, somebody who's you also going to be there for them, vice versa, but somebody who's just going to be your rock when you're walking this money mindset journey, when you're walking this the Money.Finance journey. If you want to create wealth, you need a mindset that is a visionary. You need to think of the future, but you need somebody that is here that understands that goal and that understands where we're going in this house.
Yes.
And so that even when there's problems and we just know the vision doesn't change.
Right.
What may change is how we're going to maneuver, how we're going to get there, but it doesn't change that the vision is there. That's where we're going. So that even if you may go through the most biggest challenges, this person that you've chosen to be next to you is the right person
to be, yeah.
It's not
in all moments
who's gonna break you down, or somebody who's gonna leave when things are tough, or somebody who's gonna even betray you.
Yes.
Because when you are a money mindset type of person, business can be a dirty game sometimes as well.
Yes.
Money can even bring problems in your own marriage.
Absolutely.
In your own situation.
Yes.
So that's why you have to be extreme. It's like choosing a business partner in a business.
Right.
You have to be also very strict.
Yes.
Who you choose to become your business partner. Because money, bro.
It's a problem, right? It can be a problem.
I don't want to say it's a problem.
It can be a problem.
Yes.